Hey y'all, welcome back. My name's Sarah and this is my channel, The Sassy Bookworm. So it's that time of the year again. Everyone's got to start planning the gifts that they're going to get for their friends and family. So that can include buying gifts, or if you're like me, you like to make gifts. Making your gifts kind of gives it a little something more personal, which parents appreciate, your significant other really appreciates, and even just really close friends. Basically anyone loves something really sentimental. So today I thought I would show you guys how to make something for the book lover in your life, or even just for yourself if you'd like to. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make a Chalkboard TBR list. So TBR stands for to be read, and most people when they have a TBR pile, they keep it separate from the rest of their book. I am one who doesn't like to keep my books separate from my other books. So I've seen tons of people make like chalkboard things. So I was like, you know what? This would be a great idea to write down the books that I want to read soon and not have to separate them from my other books. And it keeps your bookshelf looking pretty if you got them all in a certain way. So without further ado, let's get into this craft. So let's start with the materials that you're going to need. The first item you're going to need is a platter or some kind of surface that you would like to paint on. What I use are these silver platters from the Dollar Tree. They come in ovals, circles, rectangles. They come in all kinds of shapes. So for the one I'm going to show you guys how to make, I'm going to use this round one today. And of course, since we're making a chalkboard, we're going to need chalkboard paint. I use these Martha Stewart ones because I like the way that they turn out. So I have a black, a purple, and a hot pink here. So this is the color I'm going to use today. And then to apply your paint, you just want a small little foam brush because you're going to have to kind of go around the circle to make sure it doesn't get everywhere. And don't use like a regular brush because it will leave streaks in it and they don't look good. And then you're also going to need a hot glue gun and some glue sticks for the flowers that we're going to put around it. And then I'm using these little bitty flowers here to make a border around the board whenever the paint gets done drying. And then I'm also using this to put my paint in just so it doesn't get all streaky and everything on the board. And then to add a little bling to it, I have these little gemstones that I put in the middle of the flowers, and then I'm going to put the silver ribbon on the back of this so that you can hang it on the ribbon. So to start off with, we have our platter here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take this sticker off of the back. And if you can't pull yours off easy, then you can go get some rubbing alcohol and either some cotton balls or like cotton pads and just kind of scrub on it until it comes off. Okay, so now that we have the tag off, you're going to want to start painting this. So of course I said I'm using this color today. So to start off with, I'm going to pour some of this chalkboard paint into this thing. And then you're just going to take your foam brush, dip it in your paint, and just start going around it. Now you're probably going to have to do a couple of coats on this. Just follow the instructions on the chalkboard paint that you use. So you just kind of want to start with some even strokes going down. I wouldn't hit the edges yet because you're going to want to be careful with the edges so that you don't get it all over the top up here. So when you start on the edges, what you're going to want to do is kind of go to the edge and then just bring it back and do that all the way around so that it doesn't get everywhere. And if you have some that are going this way, go ahead and just do it like this, so that all of your strokes go the same way. And I will tell you guys that it does work easier if you have the paint on something, because I poured it into this the first time that I did this, and I didn't like the way that it turned out because it kind of got a little globby in some sides. So I found that this works a lot better. Alright, so after you have your first coat of paint on here, you're going to want to follow the directions that's on your chalkboard paint, but for mine, it says to wait 1 hour between coats. So we're going to let this dry for an hour and we'll come back to it when it's dry. Alright, so it's been 24 hours and our paint looks nice and even and dry. So after your paint dries for 24 hours, after your paint is dry, on the back of my chalkboard paint, it says to condition what you have painted. Go ahead and rub some chalk over it just so it gets the chalkboard conditioned for when you actually write on it. So I have just a normal piece of chalk here. It doesn't really matter what color because this isn't what I'm actually going to use to write on it. So what I'm going to do is you just take your chalk and you just kind of rub it over the surface, all over it, so that you can write on it when you actually write on it. Alright, so after we get it all conditioned, I let it sit for a few minutes just so it can kind of soak in and condition it a little bit. So we'll be back in just a second. Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're just going to wipe off your chalk, and you can use just a dry paper towel, or you can use an eraser for chalkboards. And if it doesn't look like it came all the way off, you can wet the paper towel just a little bit and it will come off easier. Okay, so that's got it all conditioned to write on. Now the next step is going to be to hot glue flowers all the way around this little lip right here. This is where I like to put mine just because I like the silver border after you put the flowers on. So let's get straight into gluing these flowers all the way around. The best way to do it is going to be to put the hot glue on the flower itself and be really careful with it because you are working with a very small flower, therefore your finger is really close to it. So after you put it on there, you just position it where you want it, and then you stick it, and you can either use like a popsicle stick, or you can wait for it to cool off a little bit and then you can just tap it on there yourself. Or if you want to, you can just kind of throw them on there, and then voila, it's all done. So after you get your flowers on, what I usually do is I take these little gemstones that I got at Hobby Lobby and I stick them onto the flowers. Now I have found that these gemstones will fall off after a little bit, or if they get hit really bad. So what I do is I put a little bit of hot glue on the back of these, and then I stick them in the middle of the flowers. So what I do is I just peel one off, and I take a little bit of glue. So be very careful because you are very close to the hot glue once again. You put a little bit of glue on, and then you just stick it right where that little hole is in that flower. And so we'll come back once I get all of these glued on. Okay, so I have all of the little gemstones on here now. So the very last thing that we are going to do is glue the ribbon to the back of this so that you can use the ribbon to hang this up. I'm going to be using this sparkly ribbon just because I really like the sparkles in it. And it's a pretty heavy duty ribbon, like it's not going to tear or anything when you hang it up. And obviously you just want to cut it to how long you want it. Give it a little bit of extra just so that you can have it put on here really good so that it's not going to slide off or anything. Half a foot is about how long I'm going to do mine, so let me cut that real quick. Okay, so I've got it cut. So now what you're going to want to do is when you glue it on here, you're going to want to glue the ribbon face down, which probably sounds pretty weird, but it just ensures that the sparkly side is on the other side when you hang it up. So what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of even them up to about where you want them. To hold the other one down while I glue this one, I'm just going to put the bottle of chalkboard paint, and then what I do is I just take the hot glue all the way down through there, place it down on there. Okay, so I've got this one on. So now I'm going to do the other one, and now you can just kind of line it up where you want it. Okay, so we have our ribbon on, so it's good to hang up after you let your glue dry real good. So now the very last thing that you have to do is just write what you want to on here. What I use to write on these is a chalk marker, and it's really easy to write with because it has a finer point on it. So I'm going to make this one a TBR list so that I know what I want to read next. So of course your top is going to be where your ribbons are, so I'm just going to start writing up here. Alright guys, so we have it all finished. So I just wrote my TBR list on here. Alright guys, so I hope that you enjoyed this craft. I hope that you have fun making it yourself if you decide to make it. This is a really cute gift to give to someone for Christmas or their birthday or anything like that, because they can write whatever they want on here. I put quotes that I loved on there, and this can be a good way for them to make a to-do list or a TBR list if you have a reader. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this craft. Hit that like button down there if you want to see more videos like this, more craft videos, and I'll try to come up with some more crafts. Comment down below if you think that you'll try this craft or you think that it's just a really cute craft. I really enjoy making these. They're really fun to make and they're really simple to make, and I love the colors that the chalk paint comes in now. Hit that little subscribe button down there if you want to see more crafts from me. I try to make a craft video at least once a month, if not twice, and I also try to put up at least one video a week. I hope to have another video up soon. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye! I feel like I'm too short. Now that can include buying crafts, or if you're buying crafts. That's not right.